The podcast you're about to hear will inspire, innovate, give you insight, and take you on the wings of leadership. This is why we call it the I3L. Inspiration, innovation, insight, and leadership. Get ready to embark on the journey to greatness with Kayode Okuta.
Welcome to I3L podcast, where we try to make your leadership experience beautiful and your results exceptional. So if you want your leadership experience to be beautiful and your results exceptional, please always make sure you make it a part of your weekly stable to tune into our weekly podcast. Last week we brought to you the business of leadership, where we said that leadership must understand what business they are in so that they can extract maximum value from their endeavors. We also spoke about the fact that leadership must understand what business they are in so that they can grow themselves and their capabilities, exploit opportunities and reduce threats, and create better value for themselves and the organization that they lead. So we also emphasized on the 7 dimensions of the business that leadership is involved in. We spoke about the business of people, the business of power, the business of productivity, the business of performance, the business of persuasions, the business of presentation, the business of purpose. 7 expressions of the business of leadership. So today we'll start by going through the business of people. The business of people. Now, it's always said that you manage things, you lead people. You manage things, you lead people. Leaders must know they are in the people business, and hence they must answer the following question: how do I create meaning for the people that I lead? How do I create meaning for the people I lead? How do we get best results from the resources available to us? How do we get best results from the resources available to us? And number 3, how do we separate people from problem? How do we separate people from problem? Now, that is where we talk about the business of leadership. You know, people are the instruments through which results happen. When you want a high-performing organization, you've got to get high-performing people. So your job is not to create a high-performing organization per se, but your job is to create an environment for high-performing people. Now, when you understand that, you have to understand that one of the popular things in which I understand about leadership is that when you create the environment for high-performing people, people can come and own the results and claim the victory and say, we did it for ourselves. You remember the popular Sun Tzu of leadership, when it says the great leaders, when the people have done the work, they will say, we did it ourselves. So leaders must understand that they are in the people business. Now, there are 2 kinds of people that leave: the people that see the end product and people that see the challenge to the end product. So we have to make sure that we will have to carry out our goal to ensure that people see the end product of why we are leading them. People must see the end product of why we are leading them. Now, before we go on to the business of leadership and onto the following points in which I want you to understand, let's understand the following things that leaders, that they are nuggets. I call them powerful nuggets. If you understand this powerful nugget, you would manage, or you will lead the organization better, and you will lead the people entrusted unto you. Number 1 nugget which I want to bring to you in the business of people is this: you are not in charge, but your responsibility is to take care of those in your charge. Now, you know, there are times you think, oh, I am the one in charge, I'm the top man. No, leaders don't see themselves as the one in charge. They see their responsibility as that of to take care of those who have been put in their charge. Those are the people that will do well exceptionally. So it's not just to come and boss the people around, it's to ensure that the people who have been given to your charge will become better, and they will not remain the same way in which they were given, but they would always become better. Now, number 2 nugget is that people are the instrument through which vision and results are realized. Never forget that people are the instrument through which vision and results are realized. So your goal as a leader isn't to squeeze the people as towels, but to position them so that the best can be given and the results attained. So remember, your goal isn't to squeeze the people. The people are not towels, but it's for you to position them so that the best can be given and their results attained. So how do you give the best to people? You have to understand their strengths and play them to their strengths. Number 3 nugget in which I want you to understand as when you're in the business of people is the fact that when you are in the business of people, you must see yourself as a cultivator, not a cutter. You cultivate the vision that people can buy into, and they can also buy into the ownership of the dream and the alignment that ensures that people thrive. So what do? Is just not to cut people in their track. Your goal as a leader is to cultivate people, is to cultivate dreams, to cultivate ownership. When people see your vision, you cultivate the sense of ownership with them, that they would buy into it and it will become their own. That's your job as a leader. The 4th nugget is that you will have to ensure that people see themselves not as they are, but as they can be. That is one of the things that makes people loyal to their leaders, because they make you see not what they are, but what they can be. So what they are could be small, but you can challenge them to what they can be. That was the secret of Arsene Wenger when he was the coach for Arsenal. Some people just always saw themselves bigger than they could be. When he left his office, they said you would always see yourself bigger. You always see yourself being able to achieve mountainous things. And that was why all exceptional leaders always point to your greatness, not to your faults. They always point to your greatness. They speak to your greatness. They speak to something that you can become, not the faults, not the weaknesses that you have. Number 5 nugget in which I think that all exceptional leaders must have if they have to understand the business of people is that you have to understand that the climate and soil always affect the performance of the best genetically produced seeds. Hence, your role as a leader is to create environment that would ensure that people can thrive. Your role as a leader is to create environments that people can thrive. Now, listen to what I'm going to tell you today. The best genetically produced apple seed will not grow in the Lagos environs. You know why? Because Lagos is a tropical climate. So it means that no matter how good a seed is, the environment and the soil matters. So your role as a leader is to ensure that you create environment and soils that would make sure that high performing people can thrive in your organization or under your leadership. Number 6 nugget in which I want people to understand is that people are your greatest resource and their efforts can be multiplied. In every other thing, efforts can be added, but with people, the efforts can be multiplied. And therefore, I like the word that says that the best leaders are multipliers. They are multipliers. So not only do you come with your hands, you come with your heart. And with your heart, multiplication happens. Multiplication happens. And number 7 nugget in which I want all exceptional leaders to know is that the greatest one of them is that you are not building a great organization, but you are building the people. And the people that you are building will build a great organization. And like we said last week, your role is to understand that when you build high-performing people, the high-performing people will build a high-performing organization. So that is the 7 nuggets in which I want you to look at. So when you say people are important, why do I say people are important? Our people are your greatest and most important resource. Number 1. Look, listen to what I'm going to say now. Inventory can be copied. Business or delivery models can be replicated. Your buildings can be bought. But the distinguishing factor in a business, all times, are the people. When the economy goes south, most organizations try to cut the people. But that's why I always feel that they do not understand the people side of a business. They do not understand the people side of what? Of a business. You must understand the people side of a business. You can buy a factory, but it's the people that will run it that will make sure that the same factory can produce exceptional results. Last week, when we're talking about how leaders are important. I reminded you about the story of Jose Mourinho, and I said to you, when he left Manchester United, 7 games after they won all 7 games, same players, nothing had changed, nothing added. The only thing was the set man, the head person has changed, the leader has been changed. So it tells you one thing, that you must understand that with the same people you can get different results with different kinds of leaders. Same people, you will get different results with different kinds of leaders. So those are the things that people need to understand. So we need to understand that it's your job to take care of the people who have been put in your charge. It's your job to ensure that when people are in your charge, you have to do a great job of taking care of them. And when you take care of them, you see, people don't care how much you know, but they care how much you care. So if they know how much you care and how much you care has been extended to them, what happens is that then they will care. Then they will give all their best. Now, when leaders understand they're in the people business, they're able to achieve exceptional results, and hence they themselves will become exceptional. My dad once told me about the former Nigerian head of state that cultivated such massive loyalty in the army by having to personally take care of people. When he sees very junior officers, he would ask them for their children, calling them by their name one by one. And that was so personal to people that people gave him their loyalty. Now, in fact, exceptional leaders do not seek, that's why I'll always say, exceptional leaders do not seek the hands of people, they seek the people's heart. And once the heart has been gotten, the hand is given. That's massive, massive, massive. Once the heart has been given, once the heart has been gotten, the hand is given. Massive, massive. And once you know that, you would become a better leader. So those are the reasons why I think that one of our goals as exceptional leaders, or building exceptional leaders, is to ensure that we understand these 7 dynamics. When I spoke about the fact that your behavior as a leader has great effect, in our book, The Multipliers, Alex Wiseman said something. He said, some leaders actually make us smarter and better than they are multipliers. She said, there are some leaders that make you smarter and better. When you walk beside them, you are smarter, you are better. And whereas some leaders make you feel weak, they diminish us. So calls them diminishers. But I think that the great leaders themselves are multipliers. They are multipliers because they make us smarter and they make us better. And that's the reason why great leaders ensure that the people who are put in their care, they can become smarter and better by taking care of them. So organizations are liberated when others will come on stage, when we begin to see them as such that we can bring out the best out of them. So these are the things where I always believe that leadership must understand which role they are, what playing that they have come to do. And once they understand those things, they can always become better. Can I give you some things that will enable you build a great organization? Now, remember I said to you that you are not building a great organization, you are building great people, and great people will build a great organization. You are in the people business. Build the people, and the people will build the organization. So when you understand that, you would always ensure that you win. Now, what are the following ways in which leaders can get they're in the people business? I call them the 7 C's. Number 1, crafting. Craft the vision. Now, when you're in the people business, you craft a vision that can resolve complexities, build hope, and help provide directions. Now, many years ago, I read about the vision that Bill Gates had about the fact that Microsoft was going to have information at your fingertips. So everything you wanted, every information you wanted, you could get at your fingertips. It made Bill Gates, for many, many years, the world's richest man. Now, when a man can craft a vision, people will buy into it, because when you have that vision, he builds hope and he resolves complexities. You understand? Now, you begin to see that today this is not just our determining factor, but we can have hope and we can help provide direction. And that's the reason why exceptional leaders would craft great vision for the organization. They will craft great vision for the organization. Number 2 thing which exceptional leaders must do is that they clarify. What do they clarify? 3 things. Number 1, they clarify the problem, they clarify the vision, and they clarify the mission. They clarify the problem, they clarify the vision, and they clarify the mission. Every time you see exceptional leaders come out, they will clarify the vision and the mission. Now, the head of Intel, was going to change the dimension of the company, the CEO came together and said, in 6 months' time, we'll exit this business. Now, when they came together 3 months after, one of the guys said in the meeting, he said, look, you know what? In 6 months' time, we'll exit this business. The CEO said, no. I said, 3 months' time, we're going to exit this business. What a leader should do is to clarify the problem. What problem are we trying to solve? What problem are we trying to solve? And if you clarify the problem you're trying to solve, you clarify the vision, you clarify the mission, then things will work better. Another thing that leaders must have in order to do well as in the people business is that they must understand communication skills. They must understand how to communicate to people. You must understand how to communicate to people and how to communicate to them in such a way that they can buy into your ideas. It was said of one British Prime Minister and his friend, by the time you leave one, you always felt that he was the best person on earth. But by the time you leave the other person, that you were the best person on earth. So the goal of communication is to ensure that people can see themselves not as they are, but as they can be. Number 4, skills in which I think that people should have is the fact that they must have collaboration building skills. They must know how to focus on strengths. They must know how to compensate for weaknesses and allow people to have autonomy to build themselves. Allow people to have autonomy to build themselves. And more importantly, I would say the final one is that they must create a trust environment that people can make mistakes and still feel that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be fine. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be okay. And that kind of thing creates a trust environment in organization. You don't think that when you come to an organization that your head is going to be cut off because you made a mistake. You will see that mistakes could become constructive feedback and a learning process in which you're going to have emotional engagement to your employees. So the people question still remains. Number 1, how do I create meaning for the people that I lead? Number 2, how do I get the best out of the people that I lead? And number 3, how do I separate people from the problem and ensure that people can work together? And when they work together, the people can become a great team. So when you are creating a great organization, you always have to understand that you have to build the people and the people will build the organization. You are in the people business. Next week, we'll be looking at the business of power. I hope you've been blessed today. Like I said, our job in the i3L podcast is to ensure that your leadership experience is beautiful and your results exceptional. So as you make it a part of your weekly stable, always know that this is going to be for you a mighty trajectory change. God bless you. Have a great week.